Welcome back to another UNC Tar Heels football recruiting podcast here on TarHeelIllustrated.com. And if you're watching us on our YouTube channel, which is always growing, even in recruiting season, that is called Tar Heel Illustrated. I'm THI publisher Andrew Jones, and joining me is our director of football recruiting, Miss Deana King. And Deana, you promised tons of activity going back to early June. The activity has been happening. I think it's really going to kind of swell up here over a couple of weeks as we enter into July, because North Carolina picked up another member of its football recruiting class of 2023. Zach Tobe, a three-star defensive back from Oakey, Florida High School, 6'2", 175 pounds, chose the Tar Heels over Boston College, Illinois, and Central Florida. We'll have a lot of other information about other schools that offer and everything else. But what is your initial take on Zach Tobe popping from Mack Brown, Gene Chizik, Dre Bly, and the Tar Heels?
He just came up to Chapel Hill this past weekend for official visit, so must have loved what he saw. Was around a lot of kids. I mean, Carolina had 17 official visitors that weekend, and all the ones that we've talked about what a great time they have had. You know, the between the photo shoots, the laser tags, the food, the being around the coaches and the players, the hosts that each player has. It was a really fun time. And so another big boost in the secondary room. He's going to be joining Kalo Cost and Dale Miller. Carolina's going to use him as a cornerback. I know Rivals has him listed as a safety, but a lot of these kids can play multiple positions. So Carolina's going to take him as a cornerback to go with Miller, and Cost as that nickel star position. They're going to play Cost there because he's such a great athlete. Just basically like he does in baseball. He's center fielder in baseball, so he's going to play center field on the football team. So huge pickup for Coach Brown and Coach Warren and Coach Bly in the defensive side of the ball.
Interesting offer sheet. In addition to what I already noted, you got to throw in Iowa, Tennessee, West Virginia, Arkansas, and get this, even Yale offered. And I know that the Ivy League, they say they don't have scholarships, but they've got tons of cash that they can go ahead and pay for athletes to be there. So obviously academics is a part. Every once in a while we come across some of these kids that have the interest in the academic schools and the Vanderbilts and Northwesterns and Dukes and that kind of thing. And a lot of them find North Carolina appealing because the program is really pitching the 40-year decision really hard. In fact, when we were talking with Mack Brown not too long ago, Deana, he said, look, everyone's so concerned these days about NIL, which was enacted a year ago, but your real NIL is your value when you leave school, and you enhance your NIL by going to a good school and by getting an education. And obviously that was part of the appeal to Zach Tobe.
And I really think another appeal for North Carolina is Coach Brown. He is such a family type guy. Look how many former players and that he coached, and maybe even players that he didn't coach, but North Carolina guys that are involved in the program somehow, like Corey Holiday, Rick Steinbacher, Kevin Donnelly, Natron Me. I mean, the list can go on and on and on. So
a lot of these guys
it's a pitch to that too, being a member of that family, that they take care of their own. Tar Heels take care of Tar Heels.
Well, yeah, and some people kind of have commented, boy, they're selling everything there. The players are naming every position group room, but it's all named after either former players or something related to former players. And that's part of, again, going back to Zach Tobe, that's part of the appeal. The academic side, the fact that you can play big time football and get a big time education, and like you're talking about, recruiting kids into a big time family. These were the boxes that Zach Tobe wanted to check in his process, and with North Carolina, he has checked them.
Yeah, and getting a kid from Florida is huge. Anytime you get a kid from that area, because the talent level in Florida is huge, and the Florida schools, Central Florida was really high on him, and he said that was really close to home to him. But getting to play for a Hall of Fame coach, a Hall of Fame cornerback coach that has multiple experience in playing in the NFL, can get them, like what Dale Miller said, he can help them get to the next level because he's been there and done that.
Canonized defensive coordinator who's canonized in Auburn, Alabama. Just go drive to the football stadium there and you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. Also, one other thing about the footprint in Florida, Mack maintains it's Atlanta to the Washington, D.C. area, but they have offered a lot of kids outside that footprint, in part because they brought in some new coaches and they were extending offers to kids that they already knew and really liked a lot, and then trying to get that relationship developed with Carolina. With someone like Tobe, the very strong scent that we're getting here is the staff evaluates him much higher than the recruiting services do. So when Max says we're going to go outside the footprint to get the great ones or the really good ones, I would think that in their estimation, Tobe fits into that category.
Yeah, I mean, the rankings and star rankings that everybody loves. I mean, it's funny because 1 minute they'll say, well, so-and-so, they have him at a 3, and this site has him as a 4. Really doesn't matter. What matters is what the coaches see in the kid. And that ultimately is the deal breaker. If Coach Brown says that he wants his kid, and maybe they might not be a highly ranked player or have many stars, but Coach Brown says he fits what we like to do, then that should matter. That's only should matter.
Zach Tobe, a 3-star cornerback. We'll just call him a cornerback, which might actually alter the rating, at least the numerical rating. Who the heck knows? Anyway, Zach Tobe, 3-star defensive back, cornerback, safety from Florida, is the latest member of North Carolina's football class of 2023 to pop for the Tar Heels. She's Deana King. I'm Andrew Jones. We appreciate you stopping by.